Next to the Mexican border on the south of San Diego region is Otay Mountain. The very rare Tecate Cypress tree lives in a habitat on that mountain. 20 miles to the north is Tecate Mountain, which has a similar just right habitat for Cupressus forbesii. The way we are going to look at these two habitats is with the 12-item Goldilocks Ecology checklist to see why these trees are living in this area of planet Earth. We will investigate what makes Otay and Tecate Mountains so suitable for this species by seeing the impact of the 7 abiotic factors: sun, air, earth, water, time, gravity, and fire, upon the biotic factors, which include the 5 kingdoms of living organisms: Monera, Protista, fungi, plants, and animals. Sun. The amount of sunlight radiated onto Otay and Tecate Mountains differs from the winter to the summer by 6 hours and 11 minutes. This radiation pattern leads to warm winters and hot, dry summers. These mountains are in the Mediterranean ecological zone that is one of just 9 such places on the planet. Air. Onshore breezes from the Pacific Ocean and San Diego Bay affect both habitats as they are respectively 2,500 and 4,400 feet in elevation. They are also affected by offshore breezes that originate at higher elevations. Both are located in the path of the Arctic Express pattern originating in the Bering Sea that tracks from Alaska to Baja California along the coast of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. The habitat the cypress occupies is called mixed chaparral and is prone to fire during the Santa Ana wind cycle in the fall, when hot, dry air speeds across Southern California to the ocean. Since the Tecate cypress is wind-pollinated, the movement of air assures the making of seed cones that await the need to restart the succession process for the plant community. Earth. Both habitats have mineral-rich red soils high in iron and magnesium, overlying hard bedrock that makes for good drainage and aeration. Otay is made up of 100-million-year-old metavolcanic rock, while Tecate is gabbro of a similar age. Water. 12 to 15 inches of rainfall a year waters these mixed chaparral habitats. The majority of water comes in the form of rain during the Arctic Express storms. Dew and drizzle come from the marine layer of clouds during late spring and early summer. On Tecate Mountain, the north-facing slope of mature elfin forest does not allow for much evaporation. On Otay Mountain, a recent fire stripped the shade, and now the pioneer early successional plants are beginning to provide some shade for the soil. This part is important for retaining moisture in the soil. Gravity. Both habitats after a fire are reseeded by the opening of the Tecate cypress cones left in the snags of old tall trees that were burned. Gravity and wind disperse the seeds as they fall to the ground. In the Tecate habitat, leaf litter and tall stands of shrubs with dense leaves keep water from striking the soil surface, slowing erosion. In Otay habitat, there is also slow erosion pattern due to the hardness and consistency of the earth. Hard basement rock and quick soil drainage, slow earth erosion. Time. The timing of the fire cycle of mixed chaparral is not a sure thing. Some of these areas are stable, living for years, as in the Tecate Mountain habitat. The Tecate cypress broke up above the dense impassable thickets loaded with cones. On Otay, fires over the years had not allowed the habitat to reach full maturity. In the past, there has been sufficient time for cone development, otherwise we would not see the dense stands of cypress we now see. What is of concern is that another burn will come through the area before the cypress reach the cone-bearing stage. That would result in the loss of this rare tree. Fire. Fire plays a big role in chaparral, and from our two locations we see two different stages of the fire cycle. Tecate has been protected from fires for many years and is fully mature. A burn here would result in continuation of the elfin forest and the Tecate Cypress. The habitat on Otay is not assured of long-term survival if another fire burns this area in the next 15 years. Recovery requires mature and viable seeds. The 5 biological kingdoms. Kingdom Minera, bacteria. Bacteria are billions of individuals in the habitat of mixed chaparral. These little workers provide many nutrients and services to the rest of the biota on the mountain. One of the most important jobs for the microbial community is to fix nitrogen through their biochemistry so that plants can use it in their metabolism. Another group of bacteria release nitrogen during the decomposition process, giving it back to the atmosphere. Protista. This kingdom's organisms appear at population levels well below those of the bacterial species. They are represented in the soil. A composite of protista and fungi does live on rocks. The symbiotic creation is lichen. Fungi. Fungi live in the soil and roots of the chaparral plants. Some are troublemakers. They live off organisms in pathogenic relationships. Some fungi, such as mycorrhiza, aid in the uptake of nutrients and water by the plants. These symbiotic fungi members transport nutrients and water to plants while receiving carbohydrates from the plants. This symbiosis allows many chaparral plants to survive a very dry habitat that is nutrient poor as well. Plants. The mixed chaparral plants are designed for this poor, low-nutrient, semi-arid soil. They are able to withstand drought years, and many shut down during the hot, dry season. A process of their plant chemistry develops a material that binds the soil to form a water barrier, which slows down evaporation from deep in the soil. These plants have tough leaves. Large evergreen shrubs, the leaves have a covering that is hard as a fingernail. That tough. In the early stages of a renewing habitat, there will be many flowering plants. In the mixed chaparral, maturity means tough, interlocked shrubs up to 10 feet high. Tecate cypress roll is to stand above the thicket with their seed cones ready to start the next cycle. Animals. Animal populations vary with the stages of the habitat's life cycle. At habitat maturity, there is not a large animal population because in the thickets, there's too dense foliage with little forage. Wood rats, reptiles, and birds can use this elfin forest at that time. In the earlier years, when there is more plant diversity and open space. The most powerful animal at the top of the food chain for cypress mixed chaparral was the grizzly bear that is now extinct in this region. The thorn's hair-streaked butterfly caterpillar uses this as its host plant. The Tecate cypress role in the habitat. The very rare Tecate cypress has its niche on 2 mountains 20 miles from each other. Each of these habitats is in a different stage of the habitat life cycle. The roles of cypress at these stages are different. The recently burned Otay mountain cypresses are dense and growing quickly, preparing for their role as habitat restorers with a seed bank. On Otay Mountain, the 30-foot trees are serving as sentinels for future reforestation after a fire, with a seed bank well established.